Okay, here is how I'm going to create this flower petal. It's from my one video that currently is on our homepage. Don't know how long it'll be up there, but here we go. So the first thing that I do, I'm going to draw just the basic shape of what I want. And so I'm going to go here and over here and come out and then kind of go on a slant like so. And depending on how smooth I get this, I might hit F10 or the control points on, and I might push and pull this a little bit to see how I want it. Maybe these come over here a little bit, maybe not. And however this angle is, I'm really looking at just the smooth angles. I always hold up short of going all the way across, and I'll show you why. But there is that shape, and of course I'm going to hit Control F1. So that's the same as mirror. So rather than do, let's go ahead and delete that. So you might do mirror, and then mirror plane is F4 or 0. And there you go. Shortcut of that is Control F1. Then I use blend. I always use blend. Have for years and years. And if you hold down shift, you can pull both down at the same time. The inside one is a more coarse adjustment. The outside ones are a little more fine adjustment. At least that's the way I understand it. So there's that. And depending on how pointy you want this to be, and I don't know, maybe this one's better, maybe it's not, then you, I hit F10 again to get these control points on. And with history, then these will sit and update and change. And so there you go. All right, that is not too bad. And then I am going to blend again, like so. This one turned out kind of more petal-like, more like a rose petal. This one, I don't know what kind of petal that is, but again, you can grab points and start to change it by hitting F10, and that will all start to update. And if you want this to be more flat on the bottom, you would pull this one up towards that one, and that would change that blend. All right, close enough. And then I am going to, now this will kill history once I do this. So, but it's eventually time to select this and hit J for join, because I want to offset this. So I'm going to offset in. Okay. And I am going to draw a line across here, select this, and do trim to get rid of that point. Okay. And then I am going to, let's see what the points look like on this. Yeah, a lot. I was expecting that. So I'm going to hit escape, and I'm going to split this right down the middle. So let's go to cutters and let's go to split this one. Split down the middle. That way I can rebuild this. There's, you could draw this. You could, there's all sorts of ways. Let's try 7. That's probably going to be pretty good. Anything less than that is gonna, I got lucky there. I did not practice that. 7 was, I figured, a good number. Let's hit F10, and we will pull these up like so. We will pull this one in. And, I don't do a lot of point editing. I find it kind of cumbersome. But it's a good way, especially using offset, to get the feel of the same curve that you did. Okay, otherwise I would just draw what I want and kind of go for that. I am going to also select this and go to, I'm going to right click split. So we split with a point, and I'm going to split it here. Okay. I don't try to draw right to the center because that's how you get a crease in your curve. So I'm going to now flip that with Control F1, and then I'm going to, of course, blend here to here. Okay. And blend here to here. And there you go. So that's this setup. Even though this is joined, we could hit F10 if we wanted to edit this and bring this out a little bit. That's not bad. Okay. And so there's that setup. And now we need to draw. I do blend a lot. You can see that these are on the axis, as you can see down here. So I'm right straight on the axis. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and draw a curve from F4 on out, like so. That way I have an intersect, which is here. I can intersect there, and I'm going to draw straight down, and then an intersect here and straight down. And then, of course, I'm going to blend here to here, and then I'm going to turn off snaps and hold down shift and pull this down, and that's how you get this real nice up and then nice dome and then back down. So there's the upper part of that, and of course we can hit Control F1, and then we'll go ahead and do another here at the quad and here at the quad, and we can control how this is with our, I'm going to blend from here to here. Okay, turn that off. I'm going to let this one go a little higher than those others, like so. So it's a little thicker. And then the last one, let's turn on here, go down, down, blend. That one's going to be pretty short. Okay. If we want to alter this got a little deep here. I would go, let's see, which one was, this is the original. So I would select the original and then this and hit F10. And then I would grab those points, not this though, because of history. Let's see what happens. Yeah, see that all update? So by grabbing just this point, okay, and this line, whether it's the 2 points or just the line, doesn't matter. This blend is updating because I never joined it, and then this blend is updating because it's hitting the end of that line. All right, so there's using history. We eventually, in order to connect all this, we need to join that. So that killed that history, but I'm pretty happy with what's going on. And so we might come over and just put these on orange so we can see them. Let's put these on the ring rail just so that we know they're rails. And we can make our first surface here if we want to. Surface sweep 2, there's a rail, and around we go. And let's take a look. Let's go closed sweep, and there's that preview. We can do maintain height, and that's a little more, I like that better, because if I don't maintain height, it dips down here too quickly because it's going from big and then down. There's too much tension in the surface. I like that better. Okay, so there's that. Okay, let's go ahead. I won't get rid of these, but I'll hide them just in case we need them. Let's go ahead and do the bottom side of this. Okay, and to do that, we're just going to do blend again. Let's see, what layer should we be on? We'll go back to white, and we'll do blend from this curve over to this curve. There we go. Hold down shift, and this is making the bottom of our petal. Okay. And what I did is in Rhino 8, okay, here's extrude, and open extrude. Well, this one's going to be open anyway because it's just a curve, but an open extrude, as you can see, is holding down control and moving that. And all I have to do is move just a little bit to make a surface. Okay. If you're in Rhino 7, I would just use the extrude straight command and just do that. You can do that in 8 too if you want. I just tend to be a gumball kind of guy. All right, so we're going to blend now, blend surf, and we want to blend this section around here to here. Now, we need a split here because this surface edge is going to keep going here. It looks like there's a natural split here. You can see this heavier ISO curve. You can see one over here too. It's just the way it worked out. So let's go ahead and select this and go to Tools, and let's say Split Edge. Okay, select the edge to split, this one. Okay, there's that natural break there. And then I want to make sure I snap to there, enter. And then let's come over here and right click to run it again. And we've got a natural break there because there's a profile there probably. Okay, so now when we go to surface blend, okay, then the segment for the first edge starts here, goes here, and you've got to keep your eye up here as well, because if you skip, let's say there's a little bitty section in here. I don't have one, but let's say there is. If you're thinking you're doing the first edge still and you end up seeing second edge here, then that's a problem. And that means you missed a section. So if I click here, okay, there is the first section for that. And so I am going to hit enter. So then I need to make sure that I go back to the same side that I started on, because I started over here. And so I am indeed on the second edge. And so I'm going to click here, and you'll notice that that one goes all the way across. So I'll hit enter, and then I get this surface here. And I'm going, I don't like this dip down, so I'm going to move it up like so. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'll hit enter. And then this side was just made to have a surface to blend to. So I'm going to delete it. Okay. And then I'm going to work on this side. let's put this on a metal layer. There we go. So then we'll do blend again, and I'll click here, and that one goes all the way around. Okay, and then I'll hit enter. And now I'm on the second edge, go back to where I started, and this one, for whatever reason, decided to blend. Oh, it was going to those breaks there. So I'll hit enter. And again, depending on how I want this to kind of slant up, like so, a little more organic that way. And if you wanted it to slant even more, you could pull this one back, however you want it, it's fine. And then we'll hit OK, and that goes here. All right, so now we need to make the inside section, okay? And you can see what I have here is I have this set up. So I want it to be lower than this axis here. I couldn't think of the word axis. So I'm actually going to just use this line, and I'm going to move it down. So there is the depth now. I don't need this line anymore, obviously. So there is the depth of what the inside is going to be. So it's nice and organic as well. I am going to, of course, blend again. Let's switch to just any layer that is, well, I'll use, this one shows up good. So I'm going to go ahead and blend. We can go back here. There's blend. So I'm going to go from this curve here to this one, and I'm going to pull this up, okay, so that that's coming down into here, okay, and we can pull these back as well, okay. There we go. So now this dips down and curves down like that, and I'll hit OK. And then I'm going to draw, I want to work planar. So you can see that planar is on, okay? And the reason that I'm going to work planar is because this click is not going to be up here on the construction plane. This click is going to be below it. And if I don't have planar on, when I make my tick, it doesn't matter which way I go. I'm going to go that way. Then if I didn't have planar on, then this next click would have been up higher, okay? This button maintained the plane that I first clicked on, okay? All right, there's probably another lesson in planar there somewhere. This is probably good to have all this off. So let's go ahead and let's blend once again. So we'll go get blend, and we'll blend from here to here. Okay, and again, we'll pull this. Let me turn off snapping here. So we'll pull this up, pull these back. There we go. Enter. Now, I can hide this one or delete it because this one is Control F1. I can mirror that one over. It'll be perfectly fine because I blended into that one curve, so there's no sharp edge here. Then I can get rid of this tick because there's my other one. And so we will blend from here to here and drive this up. Kind of come back here. Couldn't mirror this one because they're different. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and make that surface right there. And to do that, we are going to use, let's switch to metal. We're going to use this button right here called Network Surface. Okay, so let's click that, and it's like, hey, select the curves in the network. So it's this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. Okay, and that pretty much just makes what we want. All right, all right. Let's see what this might. Let's crank this up a notch. 0.001. It's hard to tell if that's a shading issue or if that's pulling away there. Let's find out. Let's hit OK. Yeah, I think, let's see. And then now we'll go you and you and you and you, J for join, and we get an open poly surface. This actually is great because, well, not that I'm looking for that, but it's a good teaching moment. I have a feeling I know where it is. I have a feeling it might be there, but let's find out. So let's go ahead and find out by selecting this item and going to Tools and going to Show Edges. Yep. And it's just that part right there. Okay. So let's see if we can fix that. Now, you might be tempted, and you know, in the grand scheme of things, I would be tempted too. You might be tempted to fix this with join edge, but it's kind of a sure thing, but it's not the greatest way to go. Let's go join edge, and we'll click here, and we'll click here, and it's like, hey, these surfaces are only off by 72 tens, hundreds, thousandths. Do you want to join it? Yes. And now, in theory, quote unquote, it's fixed. Okay. And so if we click this, it says it's a closed poly surface. So you might be like, well, what's wrong with that? Well, really nothing, because eventually when this design is done, you didn't even have to fix that. Let's put this. I'm going to put this in a job bag the way this is right now. And let's talk about it some more here. Did that? Okay, so there it is in. I'm going to hit undo. I'm going to hit undo again and undo one more time. Okay, this time, what do we have? We have this curve. There's the curve there. I'm going to turn. So here's what we have. It's this curve here. I'm going to turn those off. Okay. I'm going to turn the metal on, and I am going to do this again with network surf. So again, that was surface right here. Select the curves in the network. That is, oh no, we can't do that. Let's go ahead and I have another trick. This is a good trick. Okay, for this network surf, it needs to be a curve all the way around. It needs to be closed. Okay, but I can't do that. So I'm going to chain the edge. Now, in sweep 2, if we start sweep 2, you notice it says chain edges, right? And we're all used to that, or at least people that have run this before, you know. So if you start it, you can say chain edges, and then you can pick multiple sections to make one edge. Okay. If I go ahead and start this, I have no chain edges. I can't make a selection all the way around to make one edge. But you can type the word chain in the middle of a command. So not chain edges, but just chain. If I hit enter, check it out. Select the curve in the chain. So I click here, and because I had it chained it. It went all the way around. And so that's it. You hit enter, and now you're on to the next curves. So chain made one selection. And then I can do this, and now I can run that command, whereas I could not have before. Okay, I went ahead and cranked this up to 1,000ths. Okay, and then let's look here. I don't know. It doesn't look like it's matching. I'm going to crank it up another 0. There we go. Now let's hit OK. Okay, and then there, and then let's go J for join, and it's closed. Okay, so that got a little busy, a little busier than what I wanted to, but I just like to show stuff that, here comes the other one. I just like to show things that happen in modeling. So this one, as you can see, this one's, I joined Edge, so no biggie. The other thing that I would mention is that eventually, after you finish the whole design, you could just come over and hit model repair anyway, and it would stitch it all up. That naked edge is no big deal. But I like to show people how to fix stuff in videos, and so I didn't really know the video was going to go in this direction. I didn't know it was going to be a naked edge and so on. Kind of glad it was, because just typing chain, if that's the only thing that you really got out of this video, that's okay. I find that that's one thing that a lot of people don't realize you can do. You can use it in Loft as well. So let's say that we were going to, let me do just another quick example. So I'm going to select this curve and say it gets split by all these curves over here. Okay, and there's this in sections. I'm going to now move this down here and tap Alt to make a copy. Okay, so now, just for clarity, our curves are set up like that. Well, let's say you want to loft this to this. Okay, this might be the edge of a surface or something, but let's go surface loft. Okay, and then I'm going to type chain, and now select the curve in the chain. Chain continuity is tangency, but there, it picked up the tangency, and there's that one. Okay, now I'll hit enter. I'm still in the loft. Okay, so that was just one curve. Now I can type chain again and go like so, and there it picked up the tangency, and I hit enter. Okay, select the curves to loft. I did a chain and a chain. I hit enter, and now I get what you would expect in a loft, and it works. Okay, so there's how to build this. A couple of ways on this inside here, and there's how to use chain inside a command. All right, that's it for this one. Woo!